Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2024. Zendaya is definitely one of the hottest actresses in Hollywood right now, both in terms of her looks and popularity. Ever since her days of starring in Disney Channel sitcoms, she's immensely grown in popularity thanks to her being cast in major blockbusters like the MCU Spider-Man trilogy and Dune Parts 1 and 2. And this brings us to her latest film that she also happens to be producing, Challengers. The other big name involved in it, however, is its director, Luca Guadagnino. He may not be the biggest or most recognizable name in the world of modern directors, but he's managed to make a name for himself through directing a handful of critically acclaimed films like Call Me By Your Name and Bones and All. With all that established, I didn't expect a whole lot from Challengers. Maybe some good tennis matches and good performances, but not much outside of that. However, after watching it over the weekend, it, like the previous movie I saw in theaters, ended up being one of the biggest surprises of the year thus far. It centers around Zendaya's character Tashi, a tennis player turned coach who's been training her husband Art to become a champion at the sport. To get him out of his recent losing streak, she makes him play a low-level challenger event. However, tensions soon run high when Art finds himself standing across the net from the once promising, now burnt-out Patrick, his former best friend and Tashi's former boyfriend. One of the most surprising things about Challengers would be the presentation, as it follows a non-linear narrative, and surprisingly enough, it uses it to its advantage thanks to the great writing and pacing. The driving force of the film is the Challenger game between Art and Patrick, but it also has several flashbacks to develop both their friendship and their dynamic with Tashi. Admittedly, there were some points where I had trouble keeping up with the movie and its fast pace, and there were a few scenes that ended a bit abruptly, but those are the only minor problems I had here. Everything else, as previously mentioned, was surprisingly great. Going back to the writing, even with the unconventional presentation, there's some great development to our three leads, as it explores their polyamorous relationship, turned love triangle, turned aggressive rivalry, and the actors are all great as well. The MVP, without a doubt, would have to be Zendaya, who brings a ton of energy and charisma to her role as Tashi, but I also gotta give a shout out to Josh O'Connor and Mike Faist, whose chemistry between themselves and Zendaya is on point. The other highlight of Challengers is when there's a tennis match, because these scenes are on another level, and I don't even know that much about tennis to begin with. The directing and pacing make the matches insanely captivating and exciting, with creative cinematography and editing that really make you feel like you're part of the game, even if you're watching the film in a regular format like I did. I also want to mention the score for this movie, which is also fantastic. It's composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, so of course they're gonna bring their A-game. But even with how consistently stacked their discography is, I still gotta hand it to them that their work here was great. Overall, Challengers was yet another film that I didn't expect much out of at first, but one that I came out of blown away by what I saw. It supplies a well-written and engaging story with some top-tier performances, not to mention how the tennis matches are expertly directed and thoroughly thrilling. If you're a fan of Zendaya, or if you're simply in the mood for a good sports movie, this is an absolute must-watch. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but this was actually the first theatrical movie to feature the 100th anniversary logo for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and it was cool getting to see it on the big screen. It's definitely impressive to see how far Zendaya has come as an actress in the past few years, and this is certainly towards the top of her portfolio. And since I'm giving this a 9 out of 10, it's also towards the top of the movies I've seen this year, at least for now. Next time, I'll be talking about The Fall Guy. Once again, this is something I'm not expecting much out of, but I actually say that in a good way. All I'm expecting is some fun action and some great Kenergy from Ryan Gosling, and I have a feeling I'll be getting that from this movie. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Isaac Reviews 2024, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!